The Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez was one of the most terrifying serial killers in American history. From 1984 to 1985, he broke into homes across Southern California during the night, attacking victims while they slept. He had no specific pattern. He murdered men, women, even children, using guns, knives, or blunt force. Many of his crimes included sexual assault, torture, and satanic rituals. Victims were often found with pentagrams on their walls or bodies. His unpredictable violence and eerie appearance, black clothes, rotting teeth, and a cold stare sent the media into a frenzy. He was caught when civilians recognized and tackled him in the street. In court, he smirked and said, "Hail Satan!" Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, was convicted of 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, 14 burglaries. While 13 is the official number of murder convictions, some investigators and experts believe he may have been responsible for more murders that were never definitively connected to him. Outcome: June 7, 2013. Died in prison. The Green River Killer Gary Ridgway was a seemingly normal man who became the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. He worked at a truck factory and blended into his Seattle community, but behind that quiet facade, he was hunting women. From the early 1980s through the late 90s, he picked up sex workers and runaways, strangled them, and dumped their bodies in remote wooded areas, often near the Green River, which gave him his nickname. In some cases, he returned to the corpses to commit disturbing acts. He later confessed to killing 71 women, but investigators believe the real number could be over 90. Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer, is officially confirmed to have murdered 49 women that he was convicted for, confessed to killing 71, claimed the total was over 90. He avoided the death penalty by cooperating with authorities and leading them to undiscovered bodies. Outcome: November 5, 2003. Life sentence. The BTK killer, Dennis Rader, called himself BTK. Bind, torture, kill. And that's exactly what he did. Between 1974 and 1991, he murdered 10 people in Wichita, Kansas. He stalked his victims, broke into their homes, and tied them up before killing them slowly. Then he vanished. For over a decade. In 2004, he started sending letters to police again, craving the attention. His arrogance was his downfall. He asked police if a floppy disk could be traced. They said no, and traced it straight to his church office. Rader was a scout leader, a compliance officer, and a church president. He showed no emotion in court and described his killings as projects. Dennis Rader, known as the BTK killer, murdered 10 people. Outcome: August 18, 2005. Life sentence. The Son of Sam. David Berkowitz terrorized New York City in the summer of 1976. By night, he prowled the streets, targeting couples sitting in parked cars, shooting 6 people dead and wounding 7 others. What pushed the fear into overdrive was the series of bizarre, taunting letters he left behind, calling himself the Son of Sam, and claiming a demon in his neighbor's dog was commanding him to kill. The media frenzy was nonstop, and the city was on edge. Berkowitz, a quiet postal worker, was eventually caught after a parking ticket linked his car to a crime scene. He calmly confessed to everything. Later, he admitted the demon dog story was a lie to gain attention. But the horror he caused was very real. David Berkowitz, known as the Son of Sam, convicted for confirmed murders, 6. Injured, non-fatal shootings, 7. Total victims, 13. 6 dead, 7 wounded. Weapon used, .44 caliber revolver, earning him the early nickname the .44 caliber killer. Outcome: June 12, 1978. Life sentence. The Killer Clown. John Wayne Gacy was the ultimate double life. By day, he was a friendly neighborhood contractor who dressed up as Pogo the Clown for parades and kids' parties. But beneath his home, buried under the floorboards, were the bodies of 29 teenage boys. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy lured young men with promises of work, then raped, tortured, and strangled them. He was charming, manipulative, and completely remorseless. Police were shocked when they dug up the crawl space. It was a literal graveyard. His crimes stunned the nation, not just for their horror, but because no one suspected the smiling clown. John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown, was found guilty of confirmed victims, 33. Bodies found under his house, 26. Bodies found elsewhere, 3 in the Des Plaines River, and others in remote areas. Outcome: May 10, 1994. Executed. The co-ed killer. Edmund Kemper wasn't just big, he was brilliant and terrifying. Standing at 6 feet 9 inches with a genius IQ, he committed some of the most disturbing murders in California history. After killing his grandparents at age 15, Kemper was institutionalized, only to be released at 21 when he convinced doctors he was rehabilitated. Over the next few years, he murdered 6 female college students, dismembered their bodies, and engaged in necrophilia. But it didn't stop there. He killed his own mother, the person he claimed tormented him psychologically, then used her head as a dartboard. Finally, he turned himself in, calmly explaining everything to police in horrifying detail. His willingness to talk helped the FBI profile future serial killers. Edmund Kemper, known as the co-ed killer, murdered 2 grandparents, 6 young women, his mother, and her best friend. Outcome: November 8, 1973. Life sentence. The torso killer. Richard Cottingham operated across New York and New Jersey in the late 1970s, targeting women, many of whom were sex workers. He bound, tortured, and mutilated his victims. Some were found decapitated, dismembered, or burned beyond recognition. In one chilling case, 2 headless torsos were found in a motel, sparking the nickname the Torso Killer. Cottingham was married with kids, holding down a regular job while leading a secret life of unimaginable violence. He was caught when a woman escaped his hotel room after being drugged and tied up. Though convicted of 5 murders, he's confessed to over 100 and is still cooperating with cold case units to this day. Richard Cottingham, known as the Torso Killer, is confirmed to have officially convicted of 11 murders, claimed responsibility for up to 100. Investigators believe he likely killed at least 80. Outcome: 1981. Life sentence. The Candyman. Dean Corll seemed like a friendly face in Houston, known for handing out candy from his family's factory, earning him the nickname the Candyman. But behind that sweet image was a horror show. From 1970 to 1973, Corll, with the help of 2 teenage accomplices, abducted, raped, tortured, and murdered at least 28 boys. They buried many of the bodies in a rented boat shed. Victims were lured with candy, parties, or the promise of a ride. Corll's reign of terror ended only when one of his teen accomplices, Elmer Wayne Henley, turned a gun on him during a failed murder attempt. Police were stunned when they began digging up the truth. Dean Corll, known as the Candyman, is confirmed to have murdered. Confirmed victims, 28. Suspected victims, possibly more, but 28 were recovered and identified. Victim ages, mostly between 13 and 20 years old. Outcome: August 8, 1973. Killed. The Grim Sleeper. Lonnie Franklin Jr. earned the nickname due to a supposed 14-year gap between murders, but later evidence suggested he never really stopped. For decades, black women were being killed in South Los Angeles. Between 1985 and 2007, he murdered at least 10 women, though the number may be far higher. His victims were often shot, then discarded in alleys or trash. He kept souvenirs, photos, jewelry, and hundreds of Polaroids, many of unknown women. He was caught through California's first ever use of familial DNA, which connected a discarded pizza crust to his son. Lonnie Franklin Jr., known as the Grim Sleeper, is officially confirmed to have killed 10 women, convicted. Attempted murder of 1 woman. Most sources suggest he had 10 to 25 plus victims overall. Outcome: March 28, 2020. Died in prison. The Vampire of Sacramento. Richard Chase didn't just kill. He believed he had to. Suffering from severe schizophrenia, he was convinced his blood was turning to dust, and that only fresh human blood could save him. In 1977 and 1978, Chase went on a rampage, killing 6 people in horrific ways. He drank their blood, ate parts of their bodies, and mutilated corpses, including children. In one case, he used a blender to liquefy organs and drank them. Police found his refrigerator full of body parts. He showed zero remorse and was deemed legally sane, making his trial all the more chilling. Richard Chase, infamously known as the Vampire of Sacramento, is officially confirmed to have killed 6 people, convicted. Outcome: December 26, 1980. Suicide in prison.